Call of Duty has lost the plot, releasing skins like this into what used to be a grounded and realistic FPS. But these elements of personalization have been in the franchise almost since its inception, with varying degrees of success, juggling player freedom and the rule of cool with immersion. To find out where it all went wrong, let's go through the long history of customization in every Call of Duty. So let's start where it all began. Call of Duty 1. Well, there was no customization. You loaded into a game with pre-built classes, looking like a generic soldier, and that was that. In fact, it wasn't until COD 4 that customization really began, although incredibly limited compared to today. Camos made their debut in this game, earned by getting kills or headshots with the specific gun, with gold being earned for a specific weapon by earning all the camos in their respective category. You get the golden M1014 for shotguns, the Dragunov for snipers, Uzi for SMGs, the AK-47 for ARs, and the M60 for LMGs, with an extra bonus golden deagle just for reaching level 55. The very next year, World at War released. Initially slated to include the same camo as COD 4, but it was removed at the final hour. Although whether it was on purpose or just a happy accident, that change helped cement this game as the most gritty and realistic game to date. Modern Warfare 2 pushed the series forward in a lot of ways. Customizable kill streaks, game-ending nukes, and a ton of new game modes that would go on to become staples. But one often overlooked change is the addition of calling cards and emblems to help customize your identity online. You would earn these by completing challenges, like the Weapon Mastery calling cards, or one of my favorites, Infected, which was only obtainable by being knifed by someone else currently running that card. Beyond that, camos were back, but unfortunately lacked that classic Gold Mastery camo, with the top of each weapon being fall and getting nothing for maxing out every one. Character-wise though, like every game before it, your player model would be decided by what class of weapon you were holding and which team you were on. But that was about to change. Black Ops 1, where the series really started picking up steam in terms of customization. On top of including everything MW2 had, BO1 took a step further with a custom emblem editor, plus the ability to etch that emblem or clan tag onto your gun. We had custom reticles and a full camo system with gold available on every weapon. For your character, you could equip face paint, purchasable by currency that you earned in-game. And on top of that all, your player model was now dictated by whichever perk you had equipped to your first slot, which meant you could literally see when someone was using Ghost. But similar to World at War, the next game, Modern Warfare 3, seemed to go backwards, pulling back on a lot of those new customization features. Emblem editor, gone. Face paint, gone. And player models returned to simply being picked by your primary weapon. After that back and forth though, Black Ops 2 seemed to strike a happy medium. The emblem editor was back, but player models stuck to the original system. The camos continue to grow in the background too, this year getting our first official mastery camo system that's pretty similar to what we have now. You complete challenges to unlock camos, and once you get them all, you can unlock gold. Unlock gold for every weapon in that category, and you get the good old diamond. Unfortunately, this was also where we first started to see camos show up in the store, with about a dozen being added over the course of the year, although for way cheaper than you'd ever see Activision price them again. Call of Duty Ghosts marked the first official COD with character customization. The prestige system was overhauled into something they called Create a Soldier, where each time you would prestige, you would be given a new soldier slot with their own weapons, classes, and appearances. You could choose between a handful of different heads, uniforms, headgear, and patches to help each feel unique. At launch, all these could be unlocked in-game, but as COD is known to do, as the year went on, they began putting these cosmetics into the store, selling packs letting you be Price, Soap, or even Makarov. And while you couldn't quite play as Snoop Dogg yet, you could drop a few dollars on a voice pack for him.
Squad member active, a brother from another mother. Homies out the joint, it's party time.
In AW, there was even more to personalize on your character, from glasses to gloves to your reliable exosuit, which you can now show off in the new virtual lobby. It was a great addition, but the problem was that you had to unlock those items via supply drops, which you could purchase or earn in-game, and that would give you 3 random items at a time. This meant that your look was almost entirely dependent on RNG. Even worse was this is the game that was the first to feature weapon blueprints, which was more than just cosmetic. They altered your weapon's base stats, and guess how you unlock them? Elite! The store continued to be more and more in your face, and this is where less realistic skins would start drip feeding their way into Call of Duty. Clowns and scuba gear, and the infamous gingerbread skin, which was actually created as a Make-A-Wish gift back in 2014, and almost got me canceled on Twitter. Now we're back to Black Ops 3. Character customization took a bit of a backseat this year as they adopted a new specialist system, where players would simply choose between a dozen or so characters, each with their own special weapon or ability. You could still customize their helmet and outfit, but it was definitely a far cry from what AW and Ghost introduced. The goofiness of the outfits continued to escalate, although with the future setting, they were somewhat overlooked at the time. The emblem editor was back and actually expanded into a full-on paint job editor, letting you make your own camos. Speaking of camos, on top of the weapon mastery system that most games since BO2 had implemented, Black Ops 3 saw the introduction of dark matter, awarded to whoever collected gold camos for every single weapon in the game. Taunts were also introduced here, but reserved for use only during the winner's circle at the end of each match. Infinite Warfare marked the final jetpack COD, and also the most well-defined. The core systems were mostly the same as Black Ops 3, except now taunts were expanded into gestures you could trigger at any time. And you could customize certain characters' voices, choosing between male and female. Weapon-wise, the paint job editor was gone, but each weapon had a similar camo mastery system as BO3. Charms also first make an appearance here to make your weapon feel more unique. Modern Warfare Remastered, which released alongside it, followed that same trend, with skins being firmly placed into that game's modern aesthetic and had an almost identical system, but the only added feature being weapon kits, which acted similar to blueprints, except they were cosmetic only and could be applied to every weapon in whatever category you unlock them for. Granted, you still had to unlock them randomly in supply drops, alongside reticles, calling cards, and emblems, but overall, this was one of the better customization systems in the entire franchise. Next, COD went back to World War II, where the systems of the previous 2 games were even further refined. Sledgehammer Games added a new hub world known as the Headquarters, where players could walk around and interact with each other, but mostly just to open supply drops in front of people. And inside those drops were the majority of this game's customization items. There were weapon blueprints, which thankfully were cosmetic only, charms, gestures, and a whole lot of pistol grips. Mastery camos were back for good, but if you wanted the easy way out, the paint job editor was back too, letting you just make your own. It even had a paint job viewer within the Headquarters, which thankfully would never return after this entry. Player models were tied to your division, with the same uniform and helmet customization a years prior, for both the Allied and Axis sides. Plus, face paint finally saw a comeback for the first time in nearly 7 years. Black Ops 4 was out next, and their character customization continued to get crazier and crazier. I mean, now you could play Blackout as a silverback gorilla, for crying out loud. The player model system itself was also a step back, now with just one skin and a face paint as opposed to the outfit, helmet, and face combo of years before. Dark Matter is back as the mastery camo along with weapon charms and a new death effect category. Paint jobs also made one last appearance before ultimately being sunset after this game. Plus, mastercrafts were introduced in this game, which drastically changed the model of the weapon itself, making it basically a blueprint on steroids. Overall, Black Ops 4 was a bit of a mess, but thankfully, Modern Warfare 2019 would act as a soft reboot, setting things straight. This is where a whole bunch of current series staples came in. For one, players could choose between operators that were purely cosmetic, and didn't affect what kind of equipment you had in game anymore. The operators themselves would be customizable with a single skin that could be unlocked via challenges or the brand new battle pass. These skins would start out pretty grounded and tame, but over the course of the year, we'd see them get crazier and crazier, even leading to Call of Duty's first ever crossover. 2 Halloween themed outfits based on Jigsaw and Leatherface. The Gunsmith revitalized weapon customization with dozens of attachments per weapon, plus stickers, charms, reticles, and of course, a new mastery camo to help personalize it to your liking. Watches were introduced as well, alongside custom executions, gestures, and now sprays, accessible in-game via its own interaction wheel. There were even really niche things to customize too, like by equipping a specific execution, you could get a little pet to follow you in the main menu, or custom quips, vehicle skins, and war tracks that were available. And with Warzone releasing and acting as the glue connecting every COD together, every year from then on was built upon that same system that 2019 created. And Cold War was by far the most similar. Without really anything new being added, sprays and quips were removed, but otherwise it's almost entirely copy and pasted. However, Cold War really pushed the needle forward in terms of unrealistic skins and blueprints, with an even bigger focus on the store and crossovers. Some of these fitting into the Cold War theme, but others just taking it in a seemingly random direction. Vanguard would be the next game on this Warzone setup, and you could start to see the cracks forming in real time. Operators acted mostly the same, but now with Operator XP that would unlock an extra mastery skin upon completion. In addition, quips came back now with even more options. While gestures were removed, Vanguard re-added the winner circle from Black Ops 3, now called the MVP highlight, and you could choose from a variety of different animations per operator as well. This game is where skins and bundles really started to jump to shark in many players' opinions. With anime skins, Godzilla crossovers, and literal laser guns in what was marketed as a World War II game. It was a long time coming, but it seemed as if the slippery slope that Black Ops 2 started us down was finally reaching a breaking point. But there's still 2 games left. Hey, quick interruption. If you like Call of Duty and you like podcasts, I started my own called Going Dark. The links are going to be down in the description. Go follow and subscribe. Back to the video. Modern Warfare 22 and Modern Warfare 3 both released back to back and are as similar as any other 2 COD games that have ever been. So we're going to cover them as a pair for the sake of brevity. Operators continue to be the exact system as the last 4 years, except now without quips, gestures, or any kind of winner circle animation. Now it's just skins and finishing moves. The sticker system was updated slightly with a new large decal slot, and watches were removed and replaced with gun screens, some of which even talk to you for some reason.
Weapon system online. I'm alive!
And even some attachments and equipments have skins. Crossovers have also become a near monthly occurrence, including real-life people like Kevin Durant, Cheech and Chong, Nicki Minaj, and Snoop Dogg, as well as a good amount of fictional characters like a collection of superheroes from The Boys, Skeletor, Rick Grimes, and soldiers from Warhammer 40k and Doom. All on top of a growing number of wacky bundles that aren't based on an existing IP, and there's too many to count. Duck masks, flaming ghosts, anime, and even more anime. And while the vast majority of these are strictly cosmetic only, Activision has been slowly trying to work in pay-to-win elements, like with select skins giving you free UAVs or self-revives in DMZ, or most recently, giving players who party up using the same specific skin free double XP. And now we're caught up. I don't know where the franchise takes customization from here, but just based off the trend, it sure feels like we lost the actual personalization somewhere along the way and replaced it with whatever you call this thing. Thanks for watching. How do you feel about Call of Duty and customization now? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one.